So when it comes to home buying, you definitely want many things to be in place. You want to line your dominoes up in the right order, right? You want to make sure you get pre-approved, make sure the credit's in good shape and everything. Make sure when you talk to your lender, they provide you a worksheet and tell you what the costs are going to be. Make sure that that fits your budget too.
Right.
Just because I can approve you for that much doesn't mean that you want to actually buy that much.
Correct.
Because you may have childcare, you may have commuting costs, you may have other things that you pay.
You might be wanting to save for something down the road that's just something that you just don't want to spend that much money.
Right. It just may not feel comfortable.
Right.
Even though I say you can buy that much, you may not feel comfortable affording that much, right? So you want to have all of your documentation in place. You want to make sure that your income is stable.
Right.
And that you pretty much stayed employed for at least 2 years. You know, we want that employment stability to make sure that there's nothing that's going to continue to upset the apple cart once you actually buy the home. Of course, there's also the possibility where a family member may want to gift you funds to help you buy a house.
Absolutely.
A mom, a dad, grandma, grandpa.
Absolutely.
And that can always be factored into the equation too. So maybe if you don't want to use down payment assistance and mom and dad or somebody wants to help you buy the house, that's definitely an option. We can put that into the mix and see where we stand. The things that you don't want to do is you don't want to go out and buy a Lamborghini.
Nope.
Because that would be your house, right?
Nope.
You don't want to go out and buy your refrigerator before you close because then that becomes a liability. Even if you do 0 payments.
Right.
Or no
any sort of opening any line of credit.
It just can totally derail you. You don't want to quit your job. You don't want to establish new credit.
No changing jobs. No refinancing. Nothing like that.
You want to keep it as smooth
as possible. Right. When I've tried to explain a lot of that to a lot of my either people who are trying to get to that point where they can buy a house because maybe they're doing on that credit rebuild, or they're in the process of they've got that pre-approval, or maybe and they're in the process of looking, like, don't refinance, don't do any of that. Like, well, I have my pre-approval. Yes, but anything until you get to closing can affect
it can make a ripple effect.
It can make a ripple effect, and it can change what you can actually be pre-approved for, and it can change the fact that you might not be that ready, willing, and able buyer. You might be ready and willing, but you might not be able.
Right.
And so it can change things. So don't go and get a Kohl's card just because you think, I can save 10%, and you literally paid it off. Great, but you had that hard pull on your credit.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Please talk to your lender that you're working with before you do anything while you're in this lending process.
For sure.
I've talked to a lot of them. Or if you're, like I said, if you're in that credit rebuild and you're in that building mode, if you already have a credit card and you're trying to up your credit score, if you already have that one, only use it for things like gas and groceries that you know that you can afford. Don't use it for things like that you want, that you know you can't afford.
Remember, there are wants
and there are
needs. So stick with the needs, and then
the wants can come later.
The wants can come later.